Let's road test the car 9 out of 10 successful armed robbers prefer as their getaway car of choice. Essential viewing if you're planning a bank job anytime soon. The latest Subaru WRX is pumped right up in the technology department. Direct injection, 6-speed manual, up from 5 in the predecessor. The price has been slashed by $1,000, and there's even an automatic option for the first time in 10 years. An 8-speed manual mode paddle-shifted sport Lineartronic continuously variable transmission. Try saying that 3 times fast after uncorking the second bottle of Pinot Grigio. If you've never driven one before, the first thing you notice when you get in a WRX is the grip is immense, and it gets better when it gets wet. This is exactly the right device to overtake some cashed up bogan in an HSV around the outside of a hairpin bend in the teeming rain. Drive is delivered to all 4 wheels all the time, and that boosts control, especially when grip levels are low, like on gravel and wet bitumen. The transition from grip to slip is very progressive on every surface. Symmetrical all-wheel drive means the power delivery is very forgiving across a whole range of different conditions. The only downside is you cannot have a slow loss of control crash in a WRX. If you ever lose it, it is going to be monumental. This is the car that changed my tune on continuously variable transmissions. We're talking handbrake turn. This one's the 6-speed manual. Now, I drove the CVT last week for a week, and by comparison, this just feels clunky and obsolete. The CVT's power delivery is immediate and seamless. Maybe manuals really are dead. I withdraw without reservation all the nasty things I said previously about CVTs. Ride-on lawnmowers? Did I actually allege that? I've never really liked CVTs, but I'd want to own this CVT. I never thought I'd say those words without also using the words "in my worst nightmare" in the same sentence. But there you go. I'll take it. Have it wrapped and sent to my room. WRX CVT. Australia is the 3rd biggest market in the world for Subaru WRX. There are almost 40,000 of them running around our roads after 20 years on sale, minus of course the ones that have been crashed. This WRX is bigger, better equipped and safer. It's the equal safest Subaru ever, scoring 35.85 out of 37 for the combined ANCAP crash test score. It's also cheaper. The most amazing thing about WRXs is not the grip or the performance, it's the accessibility, the price. WRXs have been a salient feature of Australian roads for about 20 years now. They give you Porsche performance on a real beer budget. And when you factor in 20 years worth of devaluation of the Aussie dollar in the intervening time, that means by rights, this car should be more like 70 grand. They're basically giving you twice the performance for half the price. It's impossible to be anything but overwhelmingly positive about such a capable, comfortable performance car that's just better in every respect than 20 years worth of its predecessors. If you spent your entire life driving around in Corollas and then you drive this WRX, it'll terrify and thrill you in equal proportions. It'll come as something of a shock to learn a car can actually do the kinds of things this WRX can do. It's better than fiction. But the Japanese still can't help themselves. They're so out of touch from time to time. There's actually an eco indicator in the 3.5-inch LCD in the instrument cluster. Who cares? There's another eco indicator in the multifunction display in the centre of the instrument panel. Unless both eco indicators say environment gets stuffed with perhaps a middle finger salute to a tree as a graphic. They're kind of misplaced in a car like this. Nobody intends to save the planet in a WRX. Penny Wong is not going to drive one anytime soon. But there's relevant technology too. The body structure is very stiff and you can feel it. The benefits are hugely underrated because it's just not sexy technology. But it makes the car so predictable in extreme handling situations. Or at least it allows the engineers to tune that predictability in. And it's got active torque vectoring. Got to give it 13 out of a possible 10 for that. It works like this. You tip the Rex into a bend hard and you're getting near the cornering limit. So the computer applies the brake automatically, but only to the inner wheel. Not enough to slow you down, just enough to distribute more drive to the outer wheel, which is fully loaded up thanks to inertia. And that just gives the steering wonderful neutrality, even when you're going really hard. Torque vectoring is kind of an extension of stability control. At least it puts the same hardware to a different use. But the really cool thing is you can enter traction mode, and that cancels stability control, but it leaves torque vectoring active, which is just right for having a red-hot go at a track day. If you want to avoid your insurance and your warranty, or practice for that bank job. And that's really the dichotomy of WRX ownership. It's like having a thoroughbred racehorse and riding it through a system that's regulated to be compatible only with worn-out nags and the kinds of covered wagons they use to colonise the American Wild West. Another way to look at this whole WRX owning proposition is the WRX will shred your licence faster than just about any other $40,000 car, unless you bring to the table a highly developed sense of self-restraint. Of course, if all you really want to do is knock over the local National Australia Bank and get home before lunch without a police escort, then the current WRX is a pretty elegant solution. I wonder how the R&D engineers back at Fuji Heavy Industries will interpret that comment after some dodgy translation, if they stumble across this video. Makes the mind boggle. Okay, bank robbers, form an orderly queue to the right. If you want a new WRX and you don't want to get ripped off by a dealer, and I'd rather deal with a bank robber every day rather than a dealer, at least bank robbers as a group are honest about the intention to rob you. Where were we? If you want to sidestep the rip-offs, visit the website autoexpert.com.au. I'm John Cadogan. Thanks for watching.